Fair warning, the following video regards a horror game and will feature, well, scary. Sounds overall creepiness. It's kind of what I love. Ring, 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 ring. Hello, 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 is what the natural phone guy says. I'm Buzzy, and today we'll be taking a Five Nights at Freddy's an indie horror game. Horror game that has been shaking up genre and has become a worldwide phenomenon, with a single developer with a small budget and a light of developer Scott Cawthon supporting developers of Five Nights at Freddy's, which is what we're talking about today. Fan games also like Halloween is coming up soon. I'd like to see that game as well. If you guys want to see that game, like and subscribe. Look at the way sound makes this game so compelling and spooky. Think about it. I'll only be touching the first game for now. I won't be addressing the lore or basically anything else. The mantra of I'm not going to do any lore of the game since there are much to talk about for the lore. Anyway, now it's been plenty established that Five Nights at Freddy's is or was frightening at one point. If you haven't played it before, and if you've been living under a rock for 5 years, and small wonder, it capitalizes on a broad discomfort animatronics that fall right into the uncanny valley. Too humanoid to be a cartoon, but too moving mechanically to pass something living. But even more than that, you are trapped in a single spot in the security office of pizzeria. While these animatronics not only move where they're not supposed to, but they are coming for you especially. It is a nightmare scenario built off of two pillars: the absence of information, which prevents planning, and absence of action, inflated fight or flee. Now, if this were actually a nightmare, those two would prepare to wake up in a nightmare of cold sweat. But since this is game and there is a win condition, some of these pillars will have to be sacrificed to allow the players a chance to think under pressure and win over their stress. And this is where developers like Scott Cawthon turn to visual singles and audio clues to dial out some control. I say clues because while a map of pizzeria and camera feeds of the animatronics are clearly helpful visions, it's more complicated when it comes to audio though. Some audio works in your advantage, giving you information, some audio works against you, muddying information, creating unknown, even contributing, I guess. I can't really speak that well today. Anyway, to the absence of action. Feeling. Now let's break down each of these, starting with the advantages. That is any audio that helps you form a plan and figure out how to survive, which is what everyone should do. In a scenario with absence of action, you are desperate for information like this. Although, at first, nothing you hear seems to be outrageous, it starts the unknown, which is yet more straightforward. It's only after you spend some time in this environment and listen for the patterns that start to pick up where advantage game life. And the sound files of FNAF confirm this line of thinking. For instance, there are 4 different sound files: pots, pans, and even doors clanging about. Bing bong ding 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 ding. You should hear those sounds in the game. Pots, pans. It should be Chica as well. Must be important, especially when you can hear these sounds even without using the camera system. Intentionally, this sound is a stressor. But eventually, you can pick up that sound if you look at the camera, kitchen camera, which only has an audio feed. And then you pick up that Chica the chicken. Animatronic is nowhere else to be found. So, all along the sound was actually trying to help you understand that Chica is currently in the kitchen and is going forward. Yeah, it's Chica's going forward when you hear that. Don't know if you guys actually knew that, but you can save basically camera energy with that too. Not every advantage in the game has an audio clue, but the ones that do are well designed. Another one you hear is Freddy's voice whenever he moves to a new room. The which also kinda sounds like a little, but there are many versions of the sounds. Just give it a listen. And that was Golden Freddy at the end. There are 3 versions of the sound, which I just played, except the last one. That was Golden Freddy, which is very interesting, because that was not meant to play. Anyway, let's continue. Again, this can be heard off camera, so intentionally it sounds like some otherworldly threat that is just laughing at you. But eventually enough camera usage and you can tie Freddy's movement to his laughter. In fact, Freddy's difficult to see on camera, so you've got to conserve power anyway. It's 2 dots in the bathroom, or dark halls. Be aware. For some players, it could be easier to count the times Freddy laughs to indicate how close he is to the office. The odds may be unnerving, but since it forms a pattern in a otherwise unpredictable environment, it is advantaged. Now, there's other audio that informs patterns, but doesn't give you an advantage. These are good old sound effects, nor directly to what happens on screen. The sounds of camera feed failing when an animatronic you're watching suddenly, moves. Which also sounds a bit like there's a sound of Foxy running down the hall to indicate you have very limited window of time to save yourself. And the door sound of him banging on the door is very frightening. Just imagine opening the door after the 3rd one, and imagine getting so jumped. I was literally about to say you peed your pants, but no. These sounds are constant with their actions, but the player never really picks up help from them. They're mainly to impress you more in the environment, so you'll notice most of them in Diagelic. Diagelic, that is. Most of them are, sounds that the in-game world would be making. There is one sound that doesn't seem dramatic, however. That's the audio stinger. Chica or Bunny appear right in your doorway. Noise. It's a meme, but that sound is not manufactured by a camera or machinery. I don't think it's meant to come from Bunny or Chica. It's more of a classical horror music cue that makes you jump a little at something. A sudden stinger. In fact, extended technique on a string instrument slow down on 100%. Here's it sped up, which I'm not going to show right now because I don't have the sound file at the moment. So basically, let me explain when I was doing this video, I was setting up everything, and I closed the tab that had the file to the thing, and it was deleted before. So, yeah, I don't have it right now. Anyway, it's kind of sounds like a violin, sped up at 100% for some reason, but Surface, I don't know. But the Surface, it to say, it is non-drastic music rather, and it's in-game sound. It wouldn't be in real life, because you're literally playing a video game. So, that is facts. Ooh! These sounds won't help or harm you, they just make the world more real, direct, and intense. Now we got to audio. Special for a horror game. Trying to scare or even working against the information and actions you have. Let's unpack the different ways audio can deter you from beating this nightmare. First, we have what I'm calling mudded information, audio that isn't clear or that blocks other audio signals. For instance, the cameras make static noises when they experience interference, or when you hear the panning on the back and forth. You know what that sounds like, don't you? The little bit of audio coming from the camera feed is also garbled, so you know it's put through a couple of audio filters to simulate a poor transition of a sound interview. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast, and that'll be it for today. I'll see you later.